was like, holy cow, Bambi.
How about,
Did he leave his skate guards on? You got to be kidding me. Like two other three guys that played in the
I know you got more money than
yeah, I was gonna say.
like
it's an hockey. So we were playing here. Episode 18 here with Joe Coombs, head coach of the Rhinos NA team. This is going to be a special one, Joe. It's bittersweet, maybe. You know, it's kind of the last one of the. I'm not the last podcast of our career doing this, but sort of to wrap up the season. And you know, it was a great season. You know, in hindsight of even losing out in first round, but the leaps and bounds over what we've done in the last 2 years. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, there's, hockey's a tough game to have moral victories in, but I know from an organizational standpoint that last year you guys kept me sane and I think this year was a load off of a lot of people's chests where it didn't need as much oversight as previous 2 years, so it was more enjoyable from a lot of ways, but just the growth and the culture. We had our exit interviews yesterday, and they all went very well. I really never had a year where at least one guy wasn't disgruntled walking in the room. And everybody was very positive. So all in all, it was good. But they got a taste, and that's most important because we 7 from 24. So we could get 17 guys back. Will they be back? Don't know. We'll probably out recruit a couple. That's normal for any year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then a couple may decide to stay in Europe or whatever. I don't know. But it looks very good. So I'm excited for that. And as long as Tori Lund comes back, we'll be okay.
It's obviously you and I had conversations yesterday a little bit, and some of the guys that are moving on, like Medrick, he was my favorite player in camp, and I called that out.
And we've been that way all year.
And he's just him as a player, but better as a human being.
Yeah,
great individual. You know what? This is probably the best bunch of guys that I've been around in a very, very long time. And I'm not around a lot, right? I'm up. But just we've done a lot of team functions, and there's not really that kid that's like, who is this donkey? All good kids, man. Even on the NA3 side of things.
They are. I think today that group, I think that's one of the number one things you're looking for is good kids. They come from good families that are, you as a coach, and unfortunately in today's world, I know when I speak to my kids, teachers, or their coaches is, hey, whatever you have to do, this is your job. That kid's your job now. Don't come to me. I'm not going to come to you. I don't care what you do, right or wrong. You have my support, and I think that's really important for any teacher, any coach, any that deals with a group of people. And I think for the most part, we did have that group, both as parents and players, and it's an important thing today where. Back when we played, everybody's parents, you were more afraid to go home than, I have to go to the principal's office? Oh, okay.
No problem.
How long can I stay? Because I don't want to go home now.
And that's the thing, right? Like, accountability is a big part of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to revert back a little bit to year 1, year 2, and then now in year 3. Like when we started in year 1, it was definitely new to us. We've been around the game. We've talked about it before. We've been around the game as long as anybody. But when you're starting a new venture, new organization per se at a different level, you're starting from scratch. Yeah, you have the foundation, but you got to recruit coaches, you got to recruit players, you got to recruit culture, right? Because you're bringing in 24 new guys, and at year 1 we learned a lot as an organization. And we made some drastic changes throughout the season, just before the deadline. And I were trying to work a deal out, at the deadline. I don't know if you remember that.
Who did we send you?
We didn't.
You wouldn't move, and I wouldn't move. So we just said, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Weird how that is.
I
right?
did trade somebody here.
But then, we made some drastic changes, and we took some big steps. I remember when we brought you in, I'm not going to get into how that happened, but we got you. And there was a lot of naysayers out there saying that you and I would clash.
And to those people that were going to lunch when this is over too, and I can't wait because I'm starving.
And that it wouldn't work because we're too stubborn, individually between the three of us, me, you, and Herm. And here we are in year 2 with your tenure, and we've broken records as far as our own staff, our own organization, as far as wins and losses this year. We made the playoffs, and we have just an incredible bunch of guys that were here for the entire duration of the season, guys that are coming back, coaching staff. So my hat goes off to you, Joe.
Thank you.
You've done a great job with the team, with the culture, and representing the organization. We're all old school here, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it's just how we, and I say weak because that's how we are. We're old school.
Well, it's what we know.
And good or bad, it is what it is, and it's been successful.
And to talk about that for a second, I don't think my neighbor, my wife was telling me this story yesterday. So I live in New York in the summer, which, let's face it, very Democratic state.
Yeah.
And I don't, my neighbor across the street's a judge, but he's a Democrat, which again is fine.
Yeah.
But my next door other neighbor, his name's Larry. I have 2 Larrys, Larry and Larry.
Weird.
So my wife's cutting the lawn last night, which, God, I got her trained well.
Good, look at you.
I'm just kidding.
Make sure you leave that in.
Yeah, leave that in. Larry come over, and we don't talk politics. My wife and I don't talk politics, but he was over, and he was telling my wife how expensive things are.
Yeah.
And and he's like, I just can't wait for that election in November. Now, that is not a conversation that we would have, but things are so poor right now. And to my saying of old school,
Yeah.
like, it works. It runs good country. It runs good hockey teams. Does it mean that all our tendencies are old?
Yeah.
No, it just means the important ones are.
Yeah, man. Like,
we hug our players. I all the time.
winning, we've talked about this. Winning cures a lot.
Oh my God.
Right? Like last year, we didn't win a lot. And, the littlest thing would set people off, or the littlest thing would turn into a mountain rather than a molehill, and
it was me making those.
And it was. But it helps when you win in a lot of different things. And having a winning culture is huge, and the importance of it goes beyond words can say.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, I
don't think you're ever going to change how to win. And I'm a firm believer in that. I've said that through the course of the last 10 or 15 years about how everybody, the new school. Well, you know what? You can go new school all you want, but the team that blocks the most shots and the team that plays the hardest with their nose over the puck and who just does the right thing more often than the other team is always going to be the team that wins.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like you can throw 15 Mitch Marners out there and you're going to win a game. That's how it goes. And so
he's not very good anyway.
So some of those core values of what I know a lot of people stand for, I think we're the quieter side.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, of what we stand for. But there's nothing wrong with disciplining a player. Or, Frank Tefelsky right now absolutely hates me because I sat him out a game, and he thinks that I'm wrong. Well, he can think whatever he wants.
I remember that conversation.
But it's part of it, and the ship needed to be tightened up, and he was part of the ship. You know what? Say what you want. You don't like it? Too bad.
Yeah, no, it's accountability is.
Right. Sorry. I'll see you guys later. I gotta go pick up that trailer.
All right. See you, Herb.
See you, buddy.
We'll talk to you.
Are you coming tonight?
Yeah, I'll be here at 5.
With Belle on. See you, Bella.
I'll be back.
Right on.
Holler in some manure this afternoon or load rocks. I can drive it for you if you want.
Yeah, no, like you said, the accountability is huge. It doesn't matter who it is. It's if the values are instilled, it doesn't matter who it is, what it is. Consistency.
Yeah, and you know something? That's what our problem was this year, was consistency. And I've literally done nothing but think since we've lost, because obviously we want to improve. And I quite honestly, I think we might have more rules. I had a group of rules, and they were common sense.
Yeah.
Every single one was common sense. So I would give everybody a copy, and there's a whole thing of what it's like to be a rhino and what your expectations are, and they still get it. But I literally, when I get to the rules part, I just say, read them by all means, but we have one rule, and that's common sense.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is that they're still kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of the world's lost that factor, And I was watching something or listening to somebody talk, and, that rules are important. And I like the common sense rule. I don't want 20 of them, because I'm the one that's got to remember them and enforce them. So you're constantly, like a sheriff. And that's not what you want to be. But I've literally thought that there might be, a couple things that, and I don't know exactly what they are, but, just like I had a 9 o'clock. We practiced at 10. You'd be here for 9. Well, the players went ahead and said, you have to be here at 8:45.
Mm-hmm.
So one day walking in the door right by the office there, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, Mr. Lindsay walks in at 8:55. And I'm sitting there, I was like, hey, Lindsay, what's up? And then here comes one of the players screaming at him. What are you doing? And I'm now going, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, what are you yelling at him for? He goes, he's late. He's late from who? I said, he's on time. He's good. They're like, no, not on our time. So there was some good things and that's a good thing.
No, it is. It's good when players or just whoever instills rules amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because your peers, they hold each other accountable to a different level, and it's a good thing. But, talking about, where your office is and where your door is great, but it also sucks. Because you see who comes in, whatever they're looking like, whatever time it is. I don't care who you are. As soon as somebody walks by your office, let's just say they're supposed to be there by 9. What's the first thing you do?
Oh, yeah.
You're looking. Okay, he's good. Okay, he's good. Mr. Lindsay, he's here every day at 8:57, 8:58. He's pushing it. You know what I mean? Like, and I used to, when I was over at the Coliseum, when I was a VP of operations over there, everyone had to punch in as they walked by my office. And I freaking hated it because, and I would sit there, don't look at your time. Don't look at your time. You know what I mean? And then it's like, Joe, you're late every single freaking day. Well, it's only a minute or two. You're still late.
You know, I read something again this year, and I've used it since because I've never used this terminology, is you can have any excuse you want about being late, about whatever, but it doesn't change the responsibility.
No.
Like, you know what? Your responsibility is whatever that responsibility may be, but you being late doesn't change the fact that you have that to complete.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
100%. It's a big discipline, right? And anyway.
But yes, it was a much better year. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't have done another one. Like right now, I would have been getting fired anyway, but I could not. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I can't next year either.
No.
Like, that's not in my DNA. We don't have to win a championship for me to
be successful,
to be happy, or to be successful. Our job is to help bolster these young men into better men, and they'll be better athletes. But that's
winning,
the only thing I learned.
Winning takes care of a lot, right? Being over 500, making the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. And we've had this conversation, and I'm not going to get too much into detail on it because it's still still transpiring. but moving guys on.
Yep.
Right? Like that's a big part of it. If you're moving guys on, you're probably having a successful season. And if you have a successful season, you're probably moving guys on in realm, right?
Yeah.
In theory. And we're working on what we need to do to better that. And, you know, guys are getting committed late summer anyway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, again, not to touch on that, but, you know, everything goes hand in hand, you know, when you're successful. Recruiting, you know, playoffs, culture, everything, fan support, staff, you know, when the train's going down the track in the right direction, everybody's on board, things are going good. Well, the minute somebody jumps off and it gets a little bumpy,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard. And, you know, our culture is winning.
Yeah.
And winning is tailored into many different things and not just points, you know, moving players on, moving coaches on, moving staff on, moving whatever. And that's what we strive
isn't
for.
it amazing, though, how...
Our youth programs.
Yeah, and that matters. I mean, look at the Stanley Cup teams. You know, the Stanley Cup team, and you look at their youth hockey, and it's big.
Yeah.
People want to be
We've
part of
gotten
it.
so many compliments this year about how the Rhinos were back in the youth program, coaching and helping and all that good stuff. It was amazing. Like the compliments that we got, and they're like, oh man, we're so glad they're back involved to the degree that they are, because they're always involved. But we took it, you know, reverted back to where we were back in the Western States days, and it just helps everything.
It does.
It really does.
The kids love it. And then, you know, when you go to, you and I, because we're hockey fans, we don't need to cheer for somebody. We don't care. But to the average hockey fan, they want to come to a game, and they want to be able to relate to somebody. You know what I'm saying? When I say, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Or it's really important. I realized that when I was playing myself, that, you know, I lived in a town that had a pro team, and then last their pro team and went to the USHL. And the fans just, it wasn't the same. And the fans will tell you, well, the players aren't accessible. You know, and it's like, well, yeah, we are. No, they're kids.
Yeah.
You know, we were hanging out with adults before,
Yeah.
you know, playing around the golf or drinking a beer in a bar or something,
Yeah.
you know. And I understood that. I really did, because we couldn't allow, you know, I went from player to coach, so I, you know, well, sorry, but we can't have them, you know, at the Bullfrog.
Yeah. Right. Well, maybe 20 years ago, but you know, not now.
Yeah, I got a couple phone calls today
That's good.
from our players from last night. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, El Paso's a fun place, eh?
Yeah, man.
That was good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, good to see the players leaving town today.
I bet.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are gonna be short 2 or 3.
We had some players come up here yesterday and thanked Herm and I for everything, which was, you know, was really unexpected and unnecessary, but it just said a lot about the guys that were in that locker room, you know.
I don't know if you did this. I've always spoken to bus drivers, maintenance guys, wherever it might be. That's just who I am. I would sit right at the front of the bus, and every single time our players got off the bus, they said thank you to the bus driver.
Yeah.
And I have never, you know, I mean, a couple guys, always. And the guys that aren't saying it, I don't think are being rude. I really don't. But our team, every guy.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I said, hey, you need to thank the bus driver. That's just
The way they are.
where they are.
You know, it goes a long ways, man. Like everything is hand in hand. You know, I'm
sure.
a big believer in that, man. Like you get a bad couple apples in there, you weed them out. They always rise to the top anyway in a bad way. Just move them on, ship them out, type of thing. And you know, going back to you, Joe, you said you're always available. You talk to people and this and that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the listeners out there, I can honestly tell you that Joe is about as genuine as they come. And what I mean by that is, yeah, when he's here, he's obviously intense when he coaches because he cares. But I don't think I've met a nicer human being than Joe. And I'm not saying this because you're sitting beside me, Joe, but you truly are. You're willing to do anything and everything It doesn't matter what it is, whether you're thanking the bus driver, thanking maintenance, or helping out. And I truly, truly mean that. You're always available. And for those folks out there that think Joe's just a big blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, he is. But he's also a soft teddy bear, too. And I mean,
don't let that get out there.
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm going to start crying here. But,
no, it's okay.
And it's been,
Thank you.
It's been a good year. You know,
it's only going to get better,
and it is going to get better. You know, we're like, it's bittersweet. You know, I've said this to many people. I hate to see the season end, but it's also okay. Now we can start for next year. You know, and people, I get it asked all the time. So, what's your summer like? I'm like, I hate summer because it's busy for me in a different way.
Yeah.
And you know that I'm not a fan of summer. It's just different.
It's like switching gears.
Yeah, man.
I know. I said to Mike, so last year Steve says to me, and Steve and I don't work together for 5 months. And so he says to me, you got 5 days. When I left here and got home, he called and said, you got 5 days. And I'm like, huh? He's like, you got 5 days, and then we're going to work together. And I've never... I'm going to take a couple days, but I liked how it was put to me. Yeah. So yesterday I'm talking to Mike, and I'm like, hey, Mike,
we got 5 days.
We got 5 days. Yeah. And I said, on Monday, I'll meet you at work at 9 o'clock. And it's just a total, I need to, and this is on a personal note, but, I was dreading those yesterday. Not because, but I don't like to say, my dad, I know this is going to sound terrible. When my dad and I spoke on the phone, we didn't say bye.
Yeah.
I say bye to everybody, but not my dad.
Yeah.
My dad never said bye to me. I don't know, weird, right? But I've turned into being, I don't want to say bye.
Yeah.
Like, I do.
So I see you later.
It's like, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that, yesterday, that's, we had 7 kids we said bye to.
Yeah.
Like... And I don't like that. And I know that's really crazy if you look at some of the years where you see 50, 60 players, come through your locker room. But it is, and it's because I had Joe McDonnell, who is director of scouting for the Dallas Stars now. Oh, he was my junior coach. And he traded me. He drafted me too.
Weird.
And I'm sitting in front of his desk, and he said, you don't understand. And he's like, you've, whatever. He was giving me an earful, you've underachieved, whatever he was saying. And he said, but this is not easy for me. And I'm looking at him going, dude, like, don't tell me that. Like, you haven't said a word to me in 18 months, and now you're going to tell me you care, And when I became a coach, I had a flashback to that day. And I now talk to Joe. Like I literally, I talked to Joe. Hey man, what's up? As a player, I didn't. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, it was more him talking to me. Maybe it was intimidation. I don't know. But it's not fun. Our journey just in the last 10 days has brought our team. We went to Shreveport 3 times in 2 weeks.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Like 2 weeks, went 3 times.
Yeah.
And first time I've ever had back spasms. Neck spasms in my brain stem.
Yeah. Your arsehole's talking to you.
Those are new. Hey? So, but no, I'm very proud of these guys. I didn't speak to them as a group. I had a gentleman... who's I'm very respectful of, an executive in the Penguins organization. His kids showed up to the game in Louisiana and ended up talking to them directly following the game. They wanted some guidance on a couple things, and I didn't get a chance. And by the time I went in, everybody was almost on the bus. So I spoke to them as individuals, but it's just not fun, And there was especially when there's way more right than there is wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Last year, I'll be honest, I didn't have a problem doing exit interviews. Because I couldn't wait for 90% of them to be gone. Yeah. That was just where we were as a team. And this year, I quite honestly didn't want to see one of them not come back. Or, hey, like Tristan Zarski came to our team at the trade deadline, and it's junior hockey. It's not pro hockey. And he walked in our room. He took ownership. He's an awesome kid. He knew that after his 3 years of experience that he had something to offer our team, and he did it. And it was really something to behold. Because at the junior level, you don't get that.
Yeah.
Kids are always trying to find their way where they belong instead of coming in and owning a part of what you can bring. And it was really a great experience. And I said to I wish I would have had you here all year.
Yeah.
Not just, the last 2.5 months. So, wonderful kid, going to Brown University. And that young man is going to be a success in his life, no doubt. Whether it goes back and breeds bulls or
right, yeah.
Or he's a Calgary boy, is why I say that.
Yeah, shout out to Calgary.
Shout out to Calgary.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is automatically.
It's not an Easterner.
Just a lot of good things that happened throughout the year that we're happy or glad we're better for them.
Yeah, it's again, it was a great season, and we're already starting to plan for season tickets and promotions and
how are those
jerseys? Good.
Yeah,
good.
Better than a year ago.
Yeah, man.
Well, good.
Yeah, it's it's again, winning takes care of a lot of things, man. And we're doing some different things to better the fan experience. We had a meeting this morning to talk about some things with some staff, and we're going to move forward with some cool ideas and cool things. And not to say in the past what we were doing was wrong, but we're more current. If that makes any sense, right? And I think
got to keep getting better.
I don't know how to say that properly, but that's how I said it. So I think that's the way we're transitioning into that, which is great. Our social media from all our pages are doing really, really well. Our videos are doing well. The fan engagement is awesome. Like the last couple playoff games was insane.
Yeah,
the amount of people here, and it's just like, holy cow! Like, how are we doing this?
Why do you think that? When I speak to El Paso, or why do you think that in an odd community like this, and I don't mean odd in a sense it's
right,
odd.
It's
what
not
I mean
hockey.
is the way people portray it
Yeah.
as odd because they're not here.
Yeah.
That it's such a great hockey town.
Like,
because it is.
I don't know. Like, we can date back to the pro days of the buzzer days. The first handful of years there were really good. The fan support was good. Then it got terrible ownership, and it just kind of fell off. But just like any team here, one thing I've known for sure: if you win, people are going to come watch. If you lose, they're not.
They're not.
And that goes for
fair weather.
If that's what it is. But
it's a UTEP sport.
But yes and no, because last year we weren't that good, but we still sold out almost all the time. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing about what we try to figure out too is our fan support that we get. There's a lot of people that are dedicated and invested into the Rhino organization and to the players, and I think that goes hand in hand with what the players do in the community, where they go to the school, they work with their youth. They're everywhere. And it took you a little bit to not understand, but understand what we do in the community, right? Like as far as what the players do during the week. It's at the beginning it was like, man, that's a lot. Yeah, it is, but and then now it comes full circle.
Now it's more.
Now it's more. But I just think what we do in the community, I think helps bring in people. But when you come to a game is 2.5 hours long. You go to a baseball game, it seems like it's 7 hours, and you're freaking sitting outside and it's the sun. Like,
oh my God,
you're baked. Like, I'm not nothing against any baseball, but I'm just saying, or soccer. But you come to a hockey game, you're cool, you're inside. It's 2.5 hours. That's it, and you're gone. Easy in, easy out.
I am not going to a baseball game until I know for sure that I am sitting in the shade or in a suite.
Man, I get it.
I ain't going. I love to play golf. Love it. I've played 2 9-hole rounds, and I've come to the conclusion.
Is that all you played this year?
Yeah. I come to the conclusion that I don't like playing golf in El Paso.
It's hot.
And this is not a knock. If like I drive down the road because I do it to piss people off too. But I'm talking to my wife or my mom, and I'm like, how's the weather? They're like, it's overcast, it's dreary, raining, cold, -6. And I'm like,
That's funny.
That's funny because I said, I don't see a cloud and it's 85.
I talked to my dad on the way to work today. I called him and said, hey, Dad, how's everything? Blah, blah, blah. And we always like, how's the weather? He's like, it freaking snowed.
Yeah.
And I'm out there this morning, shoveling off the snow off the car.
And you're in a pair
like,
of flip-flops.
What's it like to you? And I'm like, well, I think it's supposed to be high 90 and I don't think there's a cloud in the sky. He's like, gee, my dad's said a few choice words to me.
But it is a beautiful place to live. But there's no reprieve from the sun.
No, if you go golfing like at 7 in the morning, you're done by 11, that's okay.
Yeah, but here's a question. Here's a question, and I asked our producer there, the big man, like, why is this not more of a Phoenix or a Florida?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's how nice our weather is. Like you could come here, and like I come to work every morning. Usually I'm never late than 7, but so let's just say 6:30. I'm in my car. I am in a pair of pants, flip flops, a t-shirt, and some sort of sweatshirt. At worst.
Yeah.
And then when I walk out at 2:00 or lunch or whatever, and you're in the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like it's the greatest place I've ever lived weather-wise.
Yeah.
But it's not a place that people come.
Stay now through September, man.
We
can revisit that conversation.
No. That's why I'm going to keep loving it. But I don't know why it's not a place. Was that you? I was asking. It was you. Like, why isn't this?
I know we can get in the political side of things, but what's that big hotel, Wolf?
Great Wolf Lodge.
That was gonna be built here on the west side. That would have attracted people, right?
Huh?
Canceled for whatever reason. I don't know the reasons, but it was set to go, and then all of a sudden they pulled the plug on it. I think that has a lot to do with it, with
the political aspect.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into it, but yeah,
Yeah, you can't.
because we have some nice golf courses here. Wattis is obviously Wattis, but you can go over there and golf and shop.
Oh no, you have nice golf courses, but there's no trees on them.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, no,
Not one tree. In fact, I think, and this is funny, Painted Dunes, I think, has one tree.
Yeah,
on the golf course, and Butterfield doesn't have any. Now they have some shrubage.
If you go to New Mexico, the university course does.
Yeah,
for sure.
We were. Well, that's another story. But also, I'm not speaking poorly at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you feel like a cooked turkey. Like you feel like a Thanksgiving Day cooked turkey when you are out in the sun here, whether it be sitting at a baseball game, sitting at a picnic, whatever. Pardon me. You're doing outside golfing. There's no reprieve. And I am extremely Canadian. I don't know if anybody sees I'm almost transparent.
Pasty as paste can be, right?
I was walking into the rink the other day in Shreveport. We got off the bus because we got there the day before, and I walked in, and I'm looking down as I'm walking. I'm like, oh my God, I look like Casper the Ghost.
Right. Casper. But yeah, no, it is like El Paso's nice, man. It is. Somebody made a face at me, one of the employees yesterday, because I was in shorts and flip flops.
Huh?
You wear this to work in the rink? I'm like, yeah, man, it's beautiful.
Every day.
It's beautiful. But anyway, Joe, it's been a great year, man. And to wrap things up here, you got the summer. You're going home. You leave on Saturday. You'll be home for a couple months. We got coaches meeting. We got some camps and all that good stuff. And then before we know it, August will be here.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be long.
And you'll be back for year 3 on your tenure.
Yeah, we have to decide. We have a big decision to make as a family this year is where we're going to live. Where we're going to move to.
Right.
Whether we're going to stay where we're at or we're going to pick up and go somewhere else. Our kids are getting to the spot where they're all in college or all doing what they do. And I just know I don't want to live in any humidity or any heat.
Yeah, man.
So it eliminates a lot of places. Maybe Alaska? No, I'm just kidding.
Alaska would be nice.
I just don't. We were in Shreveport, and you just get off the bus.
It's like a sauna.
Oh my God! It's just you could cut the air with a butter knife.
Yeah.
You know, but here, there's no humidity, and from October 15th to right now,
there's really, honestly, Joe, last year was an anomaly. It was freaking hot.
Yeah.
But you're only getting truly 2 months of
that
the heat. You know what I mean? And if you're not
when
outside,
does the heat come? Middle of June?
Yeah, June. They say June is the hottest month of the year.
Really?
That's what they say. You know. But when you're hitting 110 degrees, I don't care if it's 110, 107, it's freaking hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
You know, but you're not going to be outside anyway. No. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where you are. And as long as you can endure being inside working, which you would be, like, you know, it's not bad. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I just know that it's the sunshine, the Sun Bowl, right? Makes sense to me. This is the sunniest place I have ever lived, ever been to. And it's so bright. I mean, a lot of things bounce off my forehead into other people's eyes and stuff like that too. But you need a pair of sunglasses. I don't know how many pairs I have. I've one good pair and about 16 others because you can't go anywhere without. And it's just it's a sunny place, man.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to make it sunnier.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, I want you to enjoy your 5 days, you know, before you get back to the grind. I have a call with Mike later today.
I haven't seen my wife since Christmas.
Yeah, that'll be nice to get home and be with the family and get back on the golf course and kind of reflect on the season and safe travels home.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure,
for a wonderful
man.
year. I want to thank you, too.
Absolutely, bud.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah. And we're going to continue the podcast. You know, I don't know if we're going to have you on every week, Joe, but we're certainly going to do a couple Zooms while you're gone, just to kind of get caught up with what's going on in the world of recruiting.
Sure.
Talk about a little bit of golf, you know, all that good stuff. But we have some different stuff with the podcast coming up, too, where we're going to go around to different vendors and do some food testing or tasting and kind of all that good stuff. We had a good time at Dead Beach. You know?
We did. Dead Beach.
That was a really,
awesome.
really
that
good time.
food over there is outstanding.
Yeah, unbelievable.
In fact, maybe we should go there.
All right.
And,
but yeah, it's been a great year, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy the summer.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah,
bud.
we'll talk to you. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 18 with special guest Evan George Vourazeris.
Correct.
Welcome, bud.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you. Crash course with Corey, El Paso Rhinos. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. You know, we've been communicating for like last couple of weeks, and I reached out to yourself and your management, and lo and behold, here you are, man.
I'm excited to be here.
I don't know if you're as excited as I am because I'm so inspired by what you do, you know, with your acting career, your motivational things, and just you. You know, we've talked probably for the last 30 minutes.
Yes.
And I'm even more inspired by you because you're just a ball of energy and motivation, and you're just a good time.
I like what I do, and I do a lot here in El Paso, and I've been doing it for years. Like, El Paso needs to hear the voice. El Paso needs the motivation. El Paso needs to know there's so many people out here that are, you know, inspiring influencers. And that's me, you know, like, I care about El Paso. If I didn't care about El Paso, I won't be doing what I'm doing, you know, as a celebrity actor and, you know, inspiring people. It just makes my heart happy. And that's what I like to do. And I will share more of that when the more questions come out.
You know, and you know, your heart is in the right place. You know, because you're fortunate doing what you do. You love doing what you do, and for you to inspire young, old, it doesn't matter. You know who you're inspiring. It's just you getting the word out about positive stuff, man. You know, and you know, I'm not a social media guy. I'm still learning the game. Mm-hmm. You know, I just posted something right now, and I had to ask you, hey, is this what I'm doing? Is this right? So if it's wrong, we'll take it off. But I think it's okay.
Yes.
You know, I had the help of an expert. But what you're doing and with your social media stuff, what you do on your clips, it's, you know,
one of the ones that you said about a week or two ago is like you wanted to post more.
Yes.
And some of the stuff that you post is just you getting out there, being positive, walking your dog, man.
Yep.
You know, just doing all sorts of fun stuff, and then promoting what you're doing.
And I like, you know, that's what people say, and I'm not ashamed of it. And there's a lot of people that want to help me, you know, and I'm going to throw this out there, you know. There's a girl, and her name is Joanna, and Joanna is a speech teacher for the special education for Clint ISD, and every time she sees my content on Instagram, she wants me to speak well, you know, not to spit my spit, like, because, you know, well, I've been through a lot in my life. That's why I take speech therapy at UTEP, you know, and having friends like Joanna, Ariel, Alex, is just, it makes it feel like I made a connection through Celebrity Softball Classic.
Yeah. You know, like your energy is so contagious. You know, you're likable. You know what I mean? And it's not because of what you do and what you stand. You're just a likable person. You're full of energy, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you get here, you're all happy and you're taking pictures and you're dancing the mute. You know, it's all cool stuff. And then, you know, what you're doing is awesome. So one of the things I want to talk about is your movie career, your acting career. You started back in 2010, I believe, was your first kind of start to it.
Yes, sir.
Kind of tell us a little bit about your journey and then where you are now. I know Ozark was one of the big ones as Tuck. And, you know, that was awesome. You know, there's a lot of good things. So I'm going to let you kind of take the stage here.
Okay. So how I started acting in this career, I have a friend, and I don't see her often. And, you know, life goes on, and it was really hard to move to another city 2 years ago. And she was a very close friend. We've been friends since Bible study youth group at a church, and she became a filmmaker at the Art Institute of Houston. On a brutal, close friend. I miss her a lot. I think about her a lot, and you know it's hard. Soon I will go to Houston. I don't know when that's going to be, but you know, I do miss all of them, but I do have friends in El Paso too, because I made so many connections throughout the years. And, you know, having her as a connection is that when she was a filmmaker, she was looking for somebody particular for a short film. And she picked me to play the role of Angel in her short film called Found.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's still seen on YouTube. I think it is. I'm not for sure. Because it's been years.
So that was your first one.
No, it's my first one.
First one when you got started. I know there's been many that you've also been a production assistant on many sets. You know, so you do a little bit of directing as well, as far as my understanding. And then as you further progressed, you were on I, Tonya.
I was in I, Tonya, yep.
What a crazy movie. If you guys have not seen that, it tells Nancy Kerrigan and Tonya Harding, you know, figure skating. And I remember that back in Canada. I was in Canada when that actually happened because, you know, Nancy Kerrigan would come and skate at the arena that I was part of.
Oh, wow.
Back when she was really, really young. And then when that craziness happened, and that's funny that you were part of that. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome because, you know, okay, let me tell you a story about that. When I was in I, Tonya, I used to travel a lot with a friend of mine that's an actor. And we always take road trips to Atlanta, Georgia, to film. And, you know, if there's a background role, we're still getting paid for it. But I loved, you know, the experience. I loved being on camera. And I'm not ashamed of it. You know, having Down syndrome, I'm not ashamed of it. I used to be like that when I was growing up, but being an adult, I know the consequences. I know what I face in life, and I'm not ashamed of it because my mom and my dad, they raised me to be a fine young man because my dad was very smart man. He was an engineer, a chemical engineer. My mom, him and my mom were support us. If my brother's a doctor, I'm an actor. My mom and my dad supported my brother and supported me, but not just because I'm not a doctor. I'm an actor and he's a doctor. So we both have success in life.
For sure. And I think that's, somebody shouldn't be judged based on how they are. You know what I mean? We're all different, and that's okay. And again, what you're doing, man, is unbelievable. And you're just a well-spoken young, or I'm not even going to say young because you're getting up there.
Yes, sir.
I'm just kidding. But it's awesome. Continue. So you did Found, and then you progressed and you did some I, Tonya stuff. You were, an assistant on the set. You've done some other things. Jack Reacher. I saw that.
In Louisiana.
Is he as big as what he...
He is. He's a
very monster.
Humble guy. He doesn't like to interact so much with the extras, but he will always thank them. Thank you for being on set.
That's good.
And thank you for having fun. And then he moves on.
Yeah. And then one of your bigger ones was Ozark.
Ozark, yes. That one was so much fun. I met so many people on set. It was like, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I met so many people in the very first season of Ozark. I was nervous.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it.
And now,
I'd be nervous too. Jason Bateman? Now you're up there with the big dogs. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. And when I met Jason Bateman firsthand, I looked at him, and my acting coach was there, Crystal Martinez. And okay, I'll tell you that story in a little bit about her. So when I went to Jason Bateman, I said, I loved you in Central Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And off his Christmas party, and then my acting coach said, this is not about Jason, this is about Ozark. Say, I know about Jason.
That's funny. So that must have been a really, really cool experience because you were on there for a couple seasons.
Yes, sir.
And yep. I think there was a couple seasons you weren't part, and then you went back as a guest. If I'm understanding correctly. So that had been. What is Jason Bateman like? Nice guy.
Yeah, he is very humble, and he cares in this business in the entertainment industry. Because as a actor, there's so many genres. There's DJing. There's music, like Crystal Poppin. She does music. She's a rapper.
Do you know the Mexican OT?
No, I don't.
He's a Houston guy, or the area of Houston, but he's an upcoming dude too. And I asked Crystal Poppin about him, so that's why I asked you. Maybe you, celebrity like you, maybe you're rubbing elbows with him too.
That'd be cool.
Man.
I like to network with many people. If it's music or if it's acting in the entertainment, I like to meet anybody that's in the entertainment because that's the networking tool.
Sure.
But like what I was saying earlier about the entertainment world, music. There's music entertainment. There's acting entertainment, and there's sporting entertainment, like sports. But I like sports. I like acting. That's why I played in the Celebrity Softball Classic. That's why I played 2 years with Aaron Jones with the A&A All the Way Foundation. Yeah. And he's doing it again, but I'm going to volunteer. Even though I can't play this year, I'm going to volunteer and bring my time to the community and help him out and make a difference in this world.
And that's really cool that you give back too. You know what I mean? That you're always part of the community. You're always doing fun, different things. And it says a lot about you, a lot about your upbringing, and keep doing what you're doing, man.
And, the best part is about being a motivator is motivating people that have that special need in them as people, because I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed if people look at me differently because I know who I am. I'm Evan George Vourazeris. I was born with Down syndrome, and I'm not ashamed of it. And my mom, my dad raised me to be a fine young person, to love people, to motivate people. I did it in Houston. Now I'm bringing it to El Paso. And El Paso needs a voice. And being a board member for the Down Syndrome Coalition for El Paso.
You have a meeting today.
I have a meeting today at 5:30.
Nice. Don't be late.
I won't be late. Oh, Amelia, wow, is going to, and Adam are going to tackle me and say, no, come to the meeting. You got to come. You got to come.
That's awesome. And, you know, like you said that you shouldn't be looked at differently. And if people look at others with disabilities of any sort, whether it's handicap or whatever it is, shame on them. They're the ones with the issues.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And nobody should ever be ashamed of how they are, how they look, how they act, how they talk. You were blessed by God.
And not only that, like watch the movie on Prime. That's called The Long Game. That's about that. It's about you never want to use discrimination against people that are different. Not just because they love the sport in golf, but not only golf, not just them, us people that have disabilities. If you see them differently, why are you judging us? Because it's not right.
100%.
And, you know, these are young kids that want to play golf, and they're being discrimination, and it's wrong. This world needs humble people that care about people, that love them just who they are as people.
Yeah.
And that's us people with disabilities too. You know, working at Gozo's Ice Cream.
Are you still working there?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to stop by.
And we have a lot of ice cream.
I like ice cream.
If you sponsor us a flavor of ice cream, that will be the Rhinos flavor.
Really, eh? Well, we can talk about that.
You can talk about that to my boss or my manager.
And I hear with your travel schedule, you know, being that you work there, is he pretty flexible?
He is. They're very flexible. Like,
well, they get free plugs. You know, star like you're plugging them here and there. I suppose they'd let you do what you need to do too.
Yeah. You know what's funny? A long time ago, Adam, I did an interview with KLAQ with Nico.
Okay.
And Buzz Adams.
Yeah, Buzz. I know Buzz.
The best thing about them people is like they're funny, and when Adam was at the interview, say, well, if Evan travels to work with David Spade or some big director, he has to take me with him to wherever he goes.
Well, I'm gonna start saying that too. So if you go somewhere big, I'm your guy. If you need somebody to go with you, I'd love to go with you, man. You know, so a guy like you in the industry, you know a lot of people. So you have someone special?
I do. I kind of well.
Many? You got to have many.
I have many girlfriends.
Attaboy.
But if I pick one, I'm sorry, Adriana. I have a crush on you.
Well, and does she know this?
No.
She does now.
I said it.
Now that you said it. Well, you know.
Sorry, Ariel.
putting her on notice, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's funny.
But I do have a crush on you.
You know, and I'm sure she'd be flattered too, a guy like you. So you have many, which is good for you. Just when you travel, and the celebrity status, you know, obviously is got to be it's a feel good.
It does feel good, but it's only when people look at you different. See, it's not all about my status. It's about, you know, look at me. Okay, who is Evan George Vourazeris? Who is he? Is he stuck up? No, I'm not stuck up. I am an actor and a motivator that motivates the world. And if you want to meet me, I'm not going to let you pay me money to give you an autograph. I'm going to sign it anyway without any payment.
And honestly, I think that's the way to do it. you know, I'm sure it can become overwhelming at times, right? When in different situations, but I guess that's part of the business that you're in, right? When it does get stressful, and it can, you know, somebody wants to come up to you and get an autograph, and it's at the end of a long day, and it can be tiresome. But your attitude and your motivation is like, I'm just Evan. This is me, man. You know, let's take it as you will. And I think that's really, really cool with how you are.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And don't ever change that, dude, because you're such an inspiration. You know, I like I said before, when we first started talking, I was following you on your posts and stuff like that, and it's very enlightening. So anybody that's out there listening, make sure you follow Evan on social media, on his Instagram, because his posts and everything it's just so genuine and so motivational and so unique.
Yeah,
and so real.
And the Instagram handle is that's the main goal, is to use. It's the best handle.
Yeah.
If you follow me, I'm not there for followers, but if you want to support me, that's fine. But I don't care how many people I get. It's just I like to network with directors, producers, the entertainment industry. If somebody that's interested in me in an interview or a TV show, you know, I got my PR's contact and description, you know, my team, you know. I'm just looking for opportunities, you know, contests, you know. My dream is to do contests with the Rhinos. My dream is to do contests with the Locomotives. And my other dream is to do contests with the Chihuahuas.
With the Rhinos being number one.
The Rhinos.
Perfect. You heard it there first, folks. So you are a big Rhino fan.
I am.
And you said that on some of your social media, on your posts. You've come to a lot of the games.
Yes,
so, you know, I'm going to, once our season just ended, sadly. I know you were sad about it. We were all sad about it. It's kind of bittersweet. It's sad to see the teams go for the summer, but it's sort of a break and gives a reset and kind of restructure again for next year, which we're already starting. But for next year, we're going to get you come out being one of the guests of the games.
Okay.
Dropping the puck, get you on the Razor. You know you like the Razor.
What's the Razor? What is that?
So we take the buggy out there like an off-road vehicle.
Okay.
You'd be sitting in the passenger seat. We have somebody in the back. I'll show you a video, and Stephen will make sure we'll post a video on the podcast, and then we do donuts out there, and somebody's in the back throwing out T-shirts.
So I was going to talk about that.
And then you can go on the Zamboni, because I know you wanted to go on the Zamboni.
But the car, the Razor, is that fast?
Yeah, but we can go as fast or slow, whatever you want, man.
I'd rather do slow.
Yeah, we can do whatever you want. But
I just seen Crystal Poppin do it. She looks like she was having fun, but man, I'll probably throw up.
Well, if you do, just go out the window. Don't go on me. So when we spin, I'll make sure you're facing that way. So when you go out, it's getting on the ice. But no, we'll get you on the Razor, and we can go as fast, slow, whatever we need.
Okay.
I'm not out there to scare anybody. It's a fun experience, and then when you get to go out there, you get to wave to all the fans, and we kind of spotlight you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. Get you on the Zamboni, the machine that cleans the ice. You know that.
So when does the season start? In November or December?
So it'll start in September.
September.
It's kind of towards the end of September.
Okay.
But we're going to be in touch. We're going to get you back on the show, man.
Okay.
Because having a conversation with you is awesome.
Because after watching the semifinal, say, oh no, I can't remember when the season starts again.
Yeah. So we get about a 4-month break.
So, and then you start recruiting new players.
Yeah, we're already starting. When we were walking in, we talked about the season ending, and so what we do now is it's a recruiting process. So we have probably about 16 or 17 guys returning to the NA team, and then we probably have about 10 possibility returning to the other team.
Oh, wow.
But it's a constant, recruiting to get new players in and to better our team as well.
Can you explain to me? Okay, there's the bigger rhinos, and there's another rhino. What's the between? Is it the same as that team or different leagues?
So it's a different league, so different level. So if you were to say, tier 2. So let's just do it in tiers. So here's your higher tier, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So the bigger team, as we call, is a tier 2.
Right.
The team that we lost out recently. And then we have another team that's a tier 3, which is a step below. Really good hockey, still great caliber, but it's a step below. That's the team that we've always had, dating back to 2006, 2007 when we first started. And then 3 years ago, we got the tier 2, the higher team.
Okay.
So it acts like a farm team.
Okay. So,
Like AAA baseball, like major leagues to AAA and so forth, AA, like the Chihuahuas, right? Just picture it like the San Diego Chargers or San Diego Padres as being the higher team, and then the Chihuahuas being similar to that. Not the same caliber, but you understand.
so I was going to ask you, like, Alex is probably listening right now. It'd be funny if his girlfriend Joanna will we do a contest on the ice with the Rhinos.
Yeah, we
Like,
can do that. So absolutely. We'll talk to Joanna, and but first we got to get Ariel on.
Yes.
We need
Ariel.
to get her on because since that's your crush, it only makes sense to have her on.
I'm sorry, Ariel. I'm sorry, Ariel, but I do love you.
I asked if we could talk about this, and you guys said it was okay.
Okay.
So you can't get mad at me, Ariel. I didn't bring this up. This was put on me. But we'd love to have you on.
Yes.
And talk about your experiences in the past with the Dallas Cowboys, when you were part of that organization. I know you still do a lot of promotions with them, but it would be great to have you on, and we could do something fun, some sort of a contest with the two of you. We can be extremely creative in what we want to do, and I think would be great. And again, just having local celebrities come on is kind of our target, and to help promote and just give El Paso an idea of what we want to talk. What are you laughing at?
Alex is making me laugh.
He's either going to be in trouble when we get off this. He's probably getting text messages from his girlfriend saying, "What are you doing?" But that's not our problem.
No.
He said we could do this.
Yes. So yeah, and I was going to let everybody know, and I've been keeping this inside of me for the longest time. Always believe in your mind, your words, your heart, because nobody else has what you have. If other people bring you down, that's their problem, not your problem. Your problem is to motivate yourself, and motivation yourself, and also telling yourself, I can do it. I can do it. And don't say, I can't. You can. There's two ways. Can is not an option. Can is an option. So don't can yourself. You need to be the person, stand up tall and reach for the stars. That's all you can do is love the way that you are inside of your heart. Believe in the things that you do, because as long as you motivate yourself, as long as you keep yourself going, you're gonna be okay in this life.
Very well said, my friend. So those are some very inspiring words, to anybody and everybody that's out there. And that's what I love about you is a can do attitude versus a cannot. And I think that's the message that everybody should take is it doesn't matter how big, how small, if you want to do something, do it. Don't let anybody tell you no. And,
Yes.
just surround yourself with the right people. And the sky's the limit, man. You said it. You said it here first.
Sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit. Evan, it's been a pleasure, man, having you on. Is there anything else you'd like to say to everybody before we end the show here?
Yeah. And El Paso needs to know. If you live in El Paso, if you live in Juarez, if you live in New Mexico, Las Cruces, Anthony, Hobbs, Albuquerque, know that there's a place in your heart, and just always believe the things that you do in life, because we only have to live one life, and that's like the rest of your life. And just don't let people put you down. Don't let people tell you what to do. And it's kind of like me. It's like, I don't like being judged for all the things that I do with my task. And, I want to put this out there too, is that I'm blessed to have a new acting coach. I'm blessed that Poppy, her real name is Emma, Spanish, Emma Poloha, Amapola, Matril, but for me, I'll call her Poppy. In Spanish is Emma Poloha Matril, and I'm very blessed, fortunate that she wants to help me with my career and as an acting coach, and I'm just extremely blessed and blessed with other people in my life too.
That's awesome, man. And
like Ariel.
Ariel, we got to get you on. And we will. And we're going to have you come back on. And we're going to put your social media, your Instagram handle on the post on so people can see. I encourage everybody to at least look at Evan's page. It's incredible. And just to follow him because, you could be having a bad day or whatever, and you just see him and his positive stuff. And, we can, it's very, very enlightening and very, very encouraging. And that's what, right there.
Ozark. And I got the shoes too.
You got a nice Ozark shirt.
I don't know if I'm allowed to put my shoe on the table.
Yeah, give her, man.
Hold on.
And I know you got a lanyard here too. Let me get that out of the way. Look at those fancy shoes.
Those are Ozark shoes.
And the 5th?
So that one is let me talk about a little bit of that. I just became a official staff member for Tattoo Marks Foundation. We're gonna be helping bringing bears to the patients that are ill.
At the hospitals?
At the hospitals.
Good for you.
So it's my first year. And thank you to Joanna for putting me on the staff.
And that just, again, that's what an incredible movement here. And if there's anything that we can do as a Rhino organization to help with this, we can talk off air, but that's just another incredible thing that you do to give back and to be part of it, man. And it says a lot about you and your surrounding staff and your team. And God bless you, buddy.
Thank you.
You're certainly an inspiration. Again, follow him. Look at his page. Follow his work, guys. You're just going to be blown away by what this young man. I'm not going to say young because you're getting old.
Before we end this one, I'm going to tell you, my Instagram page, I'm verified. So if you see a blue check mark, I'm the real Evan. I'm not a fake. I'm the real actor on Instagram. But I like to keep things professional. And if I use content, it's inspiration, my career updates, pictures of my family, and the things with my puppeteering. I like to do
You do puppeteering?
I like to do puppets.
Really? Right on.
Yeah, and so no weird things, just professional.
Good to know.
Everything professional.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, follow him. Awesome stuff. Evan, it's a pleasure, my man.
Thank you.
We're going to get you out to a Rhino game. We're going to have you back on. Hopefully you'll be willing to come back on the set and we can talk about different things coming up, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again for having.
Thank you, El
for
Paso
coming on.
Rhinos. And I hope to see you in September.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please remember to like and follow. And remember, take care, comb your hair, and keep the stick on the ice.